Hello everybody, this is Gemini Jets 1975 coming out with another Flight Schedule Sunday. This is Flight Schedule Sunday number 9 on Braniff. And before I get started, I have a couple of shout outs. First, we have my special guest. We have Gemini Jets 19. Please say hello.
Hello.
And then we also have Aviation Winnipeg. Please say hello.
Hello.
Awesome. Thank you guys. And they will be joining me for this fantastic video today. And before I get started, the last trivia question was how often does a 737 take to the skies around the world? And your wonderful answer is every 2.2 seconds. John Silvera got that right. Gemini Aviation 12, Gemini Jets 19. And let's see who else. That might be it. Yes, thank you very much to those three responders. Congratulations, you got that correct. And look forward to the next trivia question. So before we do the trivia question, we got to do the video. So, Braniff, there were technically about 3 or 4 incarnations of Braniff. I've got timetables for the first, which is the most famous Braniff, and the second one. So, in the first timetable is from October 28th, 1979, and if you know anything about the history of Braniff, this is about the time that Braniff hit their peak. So this was a little bit after deregulation. They had already started their massive expansion because the CEO of Braniff had dreams of basically what he wanted to do. He wanted to create a global airline because he thought that immediately after the chaos that resulted from deregulation that the government would step in and re-regulate. So he thought if they expanded to every possible route that they could, that the government would step in and say, okay, fine, you've had your fun, now we're going to re-regulate, so they would be okay. They would have a global airline and be under the umbrella of re-regulation again. Obviously that did not happen. A whole bunch of bad things happened. You could debate on what the cause of what eventually happened was, but that would be for another video. So basically, in the center fold, you have a big route map. All of the new routes, cities, destinations that they began flying to. Here is the continental United States, and then down here is international. So you have all of the new European services out of DFW, Boston, and a couple out of Washington, D.C. And apparently, and then also the Trans-Pacific services. So you have Singapore, Hong Kong, Seoul, Guam, and Honolulu. I have a route map off of the internet rather, that shows all of the places that they wanted to fly to, and it's kind of interesting. They wanted to create kind of a focus city type operation in, it was either Bahrain or Riyadh, and they were going to fly out of DFW and Houston nonstop because of the oil market. But fortunately that did not happen, because if it had, it probably would have ended very badly, because the Texas oil market collapsed in the early 1980s. But again, that's another story. Okay, so this one here, one of Braniff's more brash slogans were Braniff, we're better. They actually had one that said, we better be better, we're Braniff. So basically they were bragging, saying, well, our name is Braniff, so we better be good. And, it's like, whatever. But anyway, So you kind of had this tabular format like this that shows you arrival, departure, your connecting flights, days of the week of operation, connecting city, aircraft type, what service you would get, and if when it was effective or discontinued, if those were applicable. So if you really want to look at something interesting, because they had Kansas City as a hub, but DFW was, of course, their base and their main hub, so that's kind of where the interesting things are. Like right here, you've got Acapulco. That service was discontinued before the bankruptcy. Amarillo, Amsterdam was too. The only international flights that remained before the shutdown, and I do have a timetable, I'll show you that. London out of DFW, everything else was canceled. And then DFW to Honolulu, everything else Trans-Pacific was canceled as well. Austin, Birmingham, let's see here, my hometown, Corpus Christi, 4 daily flights. Oh, the first one was, oh no, that was a snack, never mind. Yeah, 4 daily flights. Denver, Detroit, there's also, let's see, where's Frankfurt, so you had a Sunday and a Friday nonstop to Frankfurt. The flagship route, Honolulu, flight 501 every day. And then you had, which was operated with Big Orange mostly. And then London Gatwick, this was a huge coup. American was so mad that they got this route instead of them. Daily 747 to London Gatwick, left at 6:30 at night, and then a bunch of other cities, Orlando. So basically, and then on the back they had a lot of advertisements in their timetables. Back here you have information, some more ad. We're Braniff, we're better to Europe. Talking about their new nonstop service to Europe. And then here are some baggage provisions. And then in the very back, on the back panel, you've got Seoul service from Los Angeles, basically talking about the new international flights. So that is my first Braniff timetable. That's actually the first one I ever got. The next one is April 22nd, 1982. This is actually the final timetable before the shutdown. So they introduced Texas class in a last-ditch stupid effort to try to save themselves. They eliminated first class off of an airline that was known for superb meal service. So they took that off and had nothing, all coach service, which was absolutely ridiculous. So if you want to see a striking comparison, although this one is a little bit harder to read, but if you look at all of these, routes that they had, and then by 1982, almost everything out of Kansas City had been eliminated. Dallas-Fort Worth was the only hub left. Many cities were axed. Like Atlanta, you just go through here and it's crazy. So, and then down here, like I said before, everything except London to DFW and DFW to Honolulu were all gone. South America apparently was where they thought all the money was, and it actually was. They had a few new flights. They were trying different things. So, let me close up that one. And some of the advertisements, they were kind of skimping money. And, so if you look at Dallas-Fort Worth, if I can get that, okay. So you have Amarillo, I think if I remember correctly, because I counted once, they had it was a little bit shy of 200 daily flights out of DFW. They were by far the largest airline out of DFW, most flights. Austin, let's see here, lots of flights to Austin. Corpus Christi was down to 3 now, and one of them was only was every day except Saturday. Then you have Honolulu, they still have that, of course. New York, New Orleans, so. And the printing was smaller. Okay, so back here there aren't really any advertisements except the one on the cover. Contract of carriage, some more baggage allowance information, ticket offices, and in the back, schedule highlights. London, only 747 service from DFW. May 1st, 5 non-stops weekly, and then June 1st it goes to daily. Philly, Chicago, New York, so, and their new slogan, Braniff is going your way. Alright, so that was right before the shutdown. And then Braniff 2, completely new airline, well, pretty much. They used a lot of the old aircraft from the original company. Their first hub was at DFW. That did not work out. Apparently, you know, people had moved on, gone to American and Southwest, so they moved, not in, you know, one huge chunk, but piecemeal. They moved their main hub to Kansas City. And this particular timetable is right after, or shortly after, the acquisition of Florida Express, because they also created a hub in Orlando. So they still had a hub at DFW. Kansas City was increasing, and then Orlando with the old Florida Express operation. And then, so this timetable obviously is a lot smaller. Reschedule your flight, and this is the only way your ticket will fly. Don't get stuck with a worthless airline ticket. Get the Braniff guarantee. Okay, and then this kind of highlights all the cities that they flew to out of each destination. There's also terminal maps. So you had the there's the Orlando airside B, Kansas City, and of course DFW terminal 2W. They had the gates in the middle, which was kind of where their the most of their old gates were. And then back here, Braniff, the best low fare in the air, believe it. And here is their passenger information, contract of carriage, and then back here we're talking about their frequent flyer program, Get It All. Very interesting. And then that was their livery. There was another one shortly before shutdown. They called it the Reebok livery when they purchased the A320s, and it was a little it was kind of gross. Okay, this one is October 1st of '88. By the time this one came out, pretty much DFW had been reduced to a spoke, so all they flew to were the 2 hubs in Orlando and Kansas City. Kansas City, excuse me, had been expanded greatly, and Orlando was still kicking. And by this time they had created Braniff Commuter. And I don't remember, I believe all of the flights were out of Kansas City, so they had commuter flights, connecting flights out of Kansas City. And let's see here, go back here. If you're over 65 or over, you've earned it 15% off. So you had a senior citizen discount, kind of nice. Fly 2, get 1 free. Fly 2 round trips or 4 one-way trips through November 15th and get a round trip ticket free to anywhere in the U.S. That was kind of nice. And that was with the Braniff Get It All frequent flyer program. So that kind of covers Braniff International. Very nice, very sad story on what happened with that airline. So anyway, guys, my two special guests, did you guys have anything that you wanted to add to the video?
I do.
Yes.
Please go subscribe to Gemini Jets 1975. You won't be let down with this video content.
Well, thank you very much. Everybody, please go subscribe to Aviation Winnipeg and Gemini Jets 19. Just like he said, amazing content. You will not be disappointed. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this look back in history at one of the most colorful and interesting airlines that ever existed, and probably one of the saddest stories in aviation history as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.